Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. As you can see, we're doing our very first 24-hour readathon. I'm a little bit nervous, but also not, just because I've decided that I'm not going to be doing 24 hours straight. Because look, I've got a life. I am on placement at the minute. I have work to do. It's just not the kind of time in my life that I can just take 24 hours out of my day and be tired for the rest of the week. So yeah, we're doing our 24-hour readathon. I'm unsure how many books that I'm probably going to be able to read in this, but it'd be interesting to figure out how many I get through. My guess is 4. Obviously, it all depends on how long our books are. So the first book that I'm going to be starting with for this readathon is The Serpent of the Wings and Night by Clarissa Broadbent. So I'm actually on page 275, so I'm about halfway. I've been reading this for like a week. I've just been so busy, and yeah, the start of this was making me feel slumpy, but I feel like it is getting a little bit better, which I'm happy about and excited to get into. So without further ado, let's start this 24-hour timer and see how we go. Let's get going. Where is it? Okay, besties, you have just reached 1 hour 17 minutes, and as I said before, I'm going to be stopping the timer when I'm doing things like breakfast, lunch, or if I have to go somewhere or get some work done. So it's breakfast time now. I'm now on page 374, so we've read like 100 pages, which I'm really happy with, and I'm definitely getting more into this book, which worries me because I know that I'm going to want the second book straight away, but I don't have it. Also, please excuse my awful tan lines. I was away playing tennis last week, and yeah, let's not talk about it. You can't see it. But yeah, overall loving this. A little bit about the book. We've got Araya, who is a human, and when she was a baby, her whole like village was attacked like during a war, and she was found by the king of like the Nightborn vampires, and he took her in and has raised her in vampire territory, which you can assume would have been very scary because they just want to drink her blood. So the story kind of starts where she's about to enter this competition, and she has to pass a certain amount of trials and win, and the god, I can't remember the name even though I'm just reading it, I think it's like Neuraxia, something like that. The god will grant you one wish of anything, and I believe that she wants to be as powerful as the king so they can kind of rule together and she can take over the throne, because obviously as a human you just generally have more weaknesses compared to those who are immortal and drink blood. But yes, during this trial she has met Rain and Mish, and I like Rain a lot. There is something blooming, I think, but I'm also like worried, like what if he betrays her at some point, because you just never know, because I think only one person can win. It's kind of like the Hunger Games. Yeah, overall this was like a 2-star 150 pages ago, and now I'm enjoying it so much more, so I'm intrigued to see what the ending is like. So yeah, gonna eat now and then I'll start the time with you guys and we'll read again. Just hit 3 hours and 23 minutes, I think it was. You guys just saw me turn off the timer, and we have just finished Serpent of the Wings and Night. Thoroughly enjoyed the ending of this. It was quite good. The plot twists were good. Some I expected, others I did not. And it does really rile you up for the second book, so I probably will have to get my hands on that very, very soon. I actually got this off Vinted for like £4, so if you're looking for secondhand books, definitely try Vinted, because this was literally in like pristine condition when it arrived. Yeah, cannot complain. I think, I don't know about ratings wise, we're between like a 3.75 and a 4, just because the first half was just a little bit boring for me, if I'm being honest. Like the best bit was the last quarter, I'd probably say, and I've heard a lot of people say that as well, so it's like quite a unanimous opinion, I think. But I think it's be setting us up for the next book, and I am intrigued to see what is going to happen. So that's our first book of this 24-hour challenge completed, and the next one I knew exactly what I wanted to do. A bit of a palette cleanser from that quite intense fantasy book. We have got Carrie Soto is Back by Taylor Jenkins Reid. So I actually read The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo a couple months ago, and I loved it. I loved Taylor's writing style. I've been meaning to pick this one up because one, the main character is a tennis player, and so am I. I played since I was like 8 years old, so I feel like I'm gonna be able to understand this world really easily and relate to the character a lot. So the kind of premise that I've got from the story is that Carrie Soto has been like the greatest player that the world has ever seen, and someone kind of comes along and takes that throne from her, so she's trying to fight back and get to the top again, but people don't really believe in her. So I'm very excited to get into this, and we're just going to start straight away. Hello everyone, it's the next day now. So we are currently, I think that I hit 5 hours last night. Yeah, so we're literally like 50 seconds away from 5 hours, which means 19 hours left of this challenge to see how many books I can read or get through. It's just for fun, really. So at the moment, I'm 112 pages in of Carrie Soto is Back. I'm really enjoying it. I think Taylor Jenkins Reid writes stories where you just really get to know the characters and you do root for them a little bit. Although I would say Carrie in this book, a little bit jarring for me, but I am enjoying hearing about her past. So basically start in the present where she's retired, about to come back and go on the pro circuit again, and then we're following her from like birth up until a certain point. Obviously I'm yet to find out most of the story, but yeah, I do like it and the journey, and it's just written so similarly to Evelyn Hugo, and I do like the writing style a lot. So about to make dinner, and then we're going to sit down, hopefully get like 3 or 4 hours in of reading this evening. We're going to bang it out. We've just hit our 8-hour check mark, and I've just finished Carrie Soto is Back. I loved it. I think being from a tennis background, I just flew through it, and it just felt so fast paced, like when she was describing matches and certain points in the big games. It was just so good, and I don't think it's giving me a 5-star. I'm probably going to set it on like 4.5 for now. This may change, obviously, depending on whether it sticks with me and how I feel in a few days, but overall this was a very enjoyable read, and I'm so glad that I finally got to read it, and I would love to reread it again because it's honestly just making me want to go and pick up a tennis racket and go and play, because it's what I do best and it's what Carrie does best as well. I think it was more than just like a sport kind of fiction novel as well. Like, she's learning that there are other things in life than tennis, and this is something that I've struggled with growing up, is as you put down the rackets, what do you do like when you're no longer the person that plays tennis? You have to find out who you are, and it's just an incredible journey, and this was an incredible book. So now I have an inkling about what I want to read next, so let's go and pick it. And I may carry on reading for like another hour or so tonight, but we're slowly getting through this challenge. I didn't realise how hard it would be to get through it when I'm on like placement 8 till 4. There's only so many hours in the day, sadly, but one good thing is that I'm on my phone so much less. Like, I'm putting my timer on, do not disturb is on, and I'm reading. I haven't read this much in a few months, so it's very good. Good evening. It's the next day now. I don't think I actually spoke to you guys last night because I was like super tired, but I did get some reading done, and we are now on, it's flips anyway, but we're 2 minutes away from 10 hours, so 14 hours to go. I just can't believe how hard it is to rack up these hours, like I said it before, but yeah, as someone who's on placement 8 till 4 every day, as a uni student, I'm tired in the evening, and sometimes it's just not appropriate for me to sit down and read for 5 hours or more per day, but I have been enjoying my reads this week. I am now page 156 of Better Than the Movies, and I'm loving it so much. It's like, how do I describe this book? It's like childhood sweetheart moves away and comes back, and she's obsessed with him, so she seeks the help of her kind of frenemy next door neighbour Wes, who they don't get on, but I adore him so much. And the things that he's doing for her currently, he's like always there for her if she's her, and I do think we're gonna kind of learn that maybe he's been in love with her the whole time, but I won't spoil anything, but that's my prediction. But it's hard to say because obviously she's interested in Michael, who is her old neighbour who moved away and came back, but loving it so much. I know I've said it before, but I'm going to say it again. I love when books have like mixed media in, like in Better Than the Movies, they text each other a lot. And it's so good. The banter between Elizabeth and Wes, oh my word. I'm absolutely obsessed with it. It's so cute. It's like reading a rom-com, and I know that's what Lynn Painter is going for, and she's achieved it 100%. Also, at the start of each chapter, she has put like a quote from like a rom-com movie in, and this one is Love Actually, and it's that if you look for it, I've got a sneaky feeling you will find that Love Actually is all around. That quote gets me every time I hear it in the movies. Oh my god. Good morning. So a little update. We're now on 14 hours and 28 minutes total of reading so far, which means I've got 9.5 hours left of this challenge, and I'm hoping to finish it today, which means a lot of reading. So book updates. Last night I finished Better Than Movies by Lynn Painter. When I tell you this, if I could give it 6 stars, I could, but obviously 5 is the norm, so it's, 5 out of 5 stars for me. This was like reading one of those rom-coms, like, like How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days, He's All That, like that kind of era. I felt like I was reading it in a book. Obviously it's YA, so no spice, and it's not really mentioned at all, like maybe just kissing. But I like that it was a change of just like the smutty books that a lot of the adult romances are, in my opinion. And I loved it. Lynn Painter's writing was so cute and endearing. And Wesley has become one of my favourite male main characters of all time. But yeah, I liked that as well. We were dealing with main character Liz, like had lost her mum, and it's like a theme of grief running through the book and her dealing with that as well. It was good to read about, and it added that little bit extra depth into the story. I'm so happy that I read this, and I definitely want to pick up more of Lynn Painter's books now, because this was so good, and her writing style it spoke to my soul. So obviously I read that last night, and then this morning I have been reading for probably like an hour and a half already, which is why we're on 14.5 hours now. And I've started The Locked Door by Frida McFadden. So in this story we are following Nora, who is a surgeon, and basically we learn that like 26 years ago her dad was a serial killer. And Frida, her books always freak me out, and I just can't wait. I've picked this one because I thought it'd be a good fast read to start the day off with, and I don't like reading thrillers at night time because I have an overactive imagination and I get really scared. So this is like a daytime read for me. I don't know if that's normal or a bit weird. Yeah, overall I'm now like halfway, and I'm really enjoying it, and I'm really intrigued to see what's going to happen. I find with Frida's books you just never know what the ending's going to be, and I hope that it does make sense, because I read Never Lie and I enjoyed it, but the ending was just so random for me. It was almost as if she just did anything so people wouldn't guess what she was reading. So yeah, time to get back now to reading for a little bit. It's currently 11, so read for a bit longer, have, you know, some lunch, and we'll see what the day brings. As you've just seen, we've reached hour 16, so 8 hours to go, and I've just finished The Locked Door by Frida McFadden. I'm gonna say that with all of Frida's books, they're like 4 stars for me. Up until the end, I just feel like I didn't guess this one, but at the same time, it was like so far-fetched. It would work, but I was like, oh, that was shocking. I think I'm going to be like 3.5 stars, but I feel like with thrillers, I don't actually rate them that highly. Apart from The Housemaid, I think I might have given that a 4.5 or a 5. I think it's just not my favourite genre, but they do creep me out, especially her writing. Like, I think I read it so quickly because I just want to finish it and put myself like out of the misery of like being scared and creeped out. So I can't believe we just finished our 4th book of this challenge so far. We've got obviously 8 hours to go, and I think I know what I want to read next. Can you guess what it is? Probably not, because you don't know my TBR. Quick change of scenery. I've settled on The Hunger Games by Suzanne Collins. Now, this has been on my TBR for a long time. I'm a huge fan of the movies, and I'm quite nervous because obviously I know the main things that happen in the movie because I've seen them a few times now. But I'm intrigued to see the little bits that aren't included, and if I can figure out like if it's drastically different or if they did a good job while making the films. So I'm excited, nervous, all the emotions, but we're gonna get into it now. Hopefully finish this today, and then the challenge will be done, maybe get another book in as well. We've reached our 25th hour of this 24-hour reading challenge, and I've just got to part 2, as you saw, of The Hunger Games. So we're on page 158. And what was I worried about? Why did I think that I wouldn't enjoy it? It's almost as if I'm like rewatching my favourite film again. And it's so much better because there's bits of dialogue where obviously didn't make it into the movie because they could only fit so much in. I also will say that I like Katniss more in the book. In the film, she kind of triggers me. I don't know if it's because Jennifer Lawrence is quite cold, and I mean Katniss is quite like that, but I think Jennifer Lawrence is like too good at that role. But yeah, 4 hours left, hoping to finish this obviously, and I don't know if I'll get into another book in time or if I'll finish after I finish The Hunger Games, but overall really enjoying it. Oh, Peter. I love him so much. Officially 1 hour left of our 24-hour reading challenge, and I am now on page 346 of The Hunger Games, so I think that's doable in the hour. I've got just under 100 pages to read to finish this, and then we would have completed 5 books for this challenge. I actually can't believe how much that I've flown through my TBR. I love it because I want to get through it and I want to buy fresh books that I'm just more excited for, because I think a lot of the books in my TBR I kind of just got because I was in a book buying mood. And you know, sometimes you just pick stuff up because you like the look of it. Yeah, so what I've done now is I've stopped the stopwatch timer and we are going to start an hour. So 1 hour left. Let's finish the Hunger Games. Oh my god, we have done it. We have completed the Hunger Games. We've completed our 24 hours, and I can't believe that I've read 4 books in the time span. Obviously, I know that I did not do it all at once, but it's way more reading than I've done in the past month, so I'm just really happy about that, to be honest. Yeah, so my thoughts on the Hunger Games, 5-star, absolutely loved it. I think I was worried that obviously because I've seen the films, it would affect the way that I was gonna rate it because I kind of knew the twists and the turns, but how could I not love it? Like, it's some of my favourite characters of all time on screen, and I the writing was so simple, and I think even if I hadn't seen the movies it would have been simple as well, but simple in a good way, not like childish. It was just easy to understand the world, and the way that Suzanne writ it just flowed so well. And oh, I think my love for Peter has actually grown from reading him in book form, because he was amazing in the movies, and now, oh my word, what a book. And I just love those little extra bits of dialogue that you got in between it, like the banter between Katniss and Peter. I think it was a lot more relevant in this than in the books. Obviously there was a lot of action that had to go into a certain amount of movie, and yeah, I just can't wait to pick up the next one now. So I hope you've enjoyed my first little 24-hour readathon. I would love to eventually do one where I obviously read for 24 hours straight without pausing the timer, but at the minute that's just not on the cards with my life at the moment. But yes, I hope you have enjoyed. Please give this video a like and subscribe if you aren't already, because it means so much to me, and I'm just building a nice little community here of people that love books, and I get to talk about it with you guys, and it's so much fun. So thank you so much, and I'll see you in the next one.